Hi everyone, this is our first STEM project of Creative Science Seminar 1. The students who attend the first seminar got this handout, but anyhow, I'll insert a picture of this handout to this video so that you can easily refer. And our project is motion sensitive alarm. First, we'll move into the things that you need to continue this project. First thing, a dartboard. Small dartboard is more than enough for your project. And this is a buzzer which gives you sound by detecting the motion of a person or an animal. This is the resistor and transistor 2N2222 type. 2N type transistor should be used. And this is a 9-volt battery. You can use this battery for upcoming STEM projects as well. And this is a PIR sensor, main component of the project. And sometimes when you ask a PIR sensor from a shop, you will get a mini sensor which is a little bit smaller than this usual PIR sensors. That is also okay for your project, no worries. And this is a switch that you can use to switch on and switch off the circuit. Those are jumper wires. Make sure to use male female jumper wires, and you have to bout the circuit, so you have to use the soldering wires, and small piece of circuit wire is also required. Other than that, this is a battery snap which you have to use to connect to this battery. Those are the main components that you need to continue this project. The whole process can be divided into 3 or 4 phases. So first we will do the assembling of the buzzer. For that, what you need is this dot board or the circuit board, and you have to take this buzzer and make sure to find the positive terminal. How to find the positive terminal of this buzzer? Actually, the long leg or the long terminal here, hope you can easily see. This is the first terminal, that is the long leg or the long terminal, that is the positive end or the positive terminal of the buzzer, and the short leg, that is the negative terminal of the buzzer. And what you have to do is insert the buzzer into your dot board, and then what you have to do is take your resistor. Now usually the resistor does not contain any positive or negative terminals. You can just insert this resistor, and before attaching this resistor to the buzzer, better to solder this buzzer with the dot board. And then what you can do is, now this is a 1k ohm resistor. You have to insert one terminal of the 1k ohm resistor, and you have to connect that one with the positive pin of the buzzer. Now as I mentioned, the positive pin is a long end, so you can insert your resistor so that one end can easily attach with this positive terminal of the buzzer. Hope you can see this clearly. Now we have assembled the buzzer to the resistor and one terminal of the LED, positive terminal of the LED bulb. Now what we have to do is assemble the transistor, but before that you should know what are the terminals in the transistor. There are 3 terminals in the transistor. This is a black head-like thing in the transistor. One surface, one part of the transistor, black part of the transistor is flat. Now if you keep the black surface to your side, the right terminal, this N terminal, is a collector, middle one is the base, this one is the emitter. And now what we have to do is take your assembled circuit, and you have to insert the 3 pins of this transistor to the dot board, and you have to solder the collector pin. This is it. Now this terminal is the collector pin of the transistor, and you have to solder this collector pin with the negative terminal of this LED bulb. So what you have to do is this red, this is usually red LED bulb, and the negative pin is a short terminal of this leg, that means this leg, short leg. And what you have to do is you have to insert this one so that the collector pin or the collector terminal of this transistor place close to the negative terminal of the LED. So that now this is the collector pin. What you have to do is you have to place it little bit closer to the LED bulb like this, and you have to insert it like this. Now what you can see is this is a collector pin, and now you have to attach collector pin with this negative terminal of the bulb. Now what you have to do is again you have to solder them together. Right. Now there are two terminals left. One is the base, the other one is the emitter. We have to place this here, and now what we are going to do is connecting the battery and the switch. So that is easy. First take the battery, and you have to put the battery snap to the battery, and then connect the negative side of the battery. So usually the negative side is a black wire. From the battery snap, the black wire is the negative side of the battery, this one. So this black wire should be connected with this emitter terminal, emitter pin of the transistor. That means this N terminal, the middle one is the base. This should be the emitter then, because we connected collector to the negative point of the LED. Now the other terminal or the other part is emitter. So what you have to do is take the black color wire from the battery snap and connect it with this emitter terminal of the transistor. We will solder that one also. Now what you have to do is connect the positive terminal of the battery to the switch. Now I have already attached a circuit wire to the switch, one end of the switch, and you also can do that. Usually the switch means only this part. So I told you need some circuit wires. You can take a small piece of circuit wire like 6-7 centimeters, and what you have to do is you have to connect it to one end of the switch. Now if you want to take the switch a little bit away from your circuit, then you can use a little bit long circuit wire. That depends on your requirement. Right. So one end I connected with the circuit wire, and the negative terminal of the battery, this one, we have to connect it with one terminal of the switch. So we will solder them together. Now before we solder, now you can see the copper. You have to take this inner metal wire, copper wire, to outside before you solder them together. Now the next thing that you have to do is take this end. I told you to connect a circuit wire to the one of the terminal of the switch, and take that wire and connect that to the positive terminal of the buzzer. No worries, although you have attached or solder positive terminal to the resistor, again you have to solder this end of the circuit wire to the bus's positive terminal itself. So we will solder that one also. Now what you have to do is take 3 male female jumper wires. Better to take them in 3 different colors. And what you have to do is attach them to the PIR sensor. Now when you take the PIR sensor, you can have 3 pins in here. Now the timing, this is for timing, this is for sensitivity, these yellow color pins. But in front of that 2 pins you can see 3 pins like this. Hope you can see, these are the 3 pins. Now if you keep your PIR sensor like this is your ground terminal, this is the middle one is the output, and the last one is the voltage, right? So what you have to do is connect the ground from the PIR sensor with this jumper wire. So you have to take this end of the male female jumper wire, and what you have to do is connect it with this ground. Ground means this terminal, N terminal, the right corner one is the ground. So you have to take a jumper wire and insert like this, and then what you have to do is you have to connect the other terminal of this jumper wire, which is connected to the ground, with the transistor. That means which end of the transistor? Now I told you there are 3 terminals of the transistor. Here you have to connect this one with the emitter terminal. Now we have one negative terminal, or the negative point of the battery was connected with the emitter itself. But okay, you can connect this terminal with the emitter terminal of the transistor. Connecting means what you have to do is you have to solder them together. Now before we proceed further, what you have to do is take a circuit wire, piece of circuit wire, and you have to connect negative terminal of the LED with the negative terminal of the buzzer. Now this is the buzzer's negative terminal, here the short leg, and the short leg of the LED bulb, negative terminal of the LED bulb. So you have to connect them together using this circuit wire, and you have to solder it together. Now you can see if it connects, you will observe the LED is working. Now this is the way that you have to connect. This negative terminal of the LED is connected to this circuit wire, and this is the negative terminal of the buzzer. We have to solder them together. Now you can see, if you are not switched off your circuit, you can hear the sound of the buzzer. You can see the LED is working, but still we haven't set the PIR yet. So what I'm doing is I'll switch off this switch so that I can continue this without any disturbance. Next thing is, what you have to do is take another jumper wire which is in different color, or else you can use the same color, but when you have different colors you can easily recognize. Now you have to take another one and connect the output of PIR sensor. Output mean the middle pin, this middle one. 1, 2, 3. So the third one, this one. You have to pin it tightly, then take the other end of the jumper wire and you have to connect this one, the middle part, the middle output jumper wire to the base of this transistor, this middle pin of the transistor base. So you have to solder them together. Right. Now, the last pin of the SER sensor. Take another jumper wire with another color. I'll take this white color jumper wire and I'll connect this one with this voltage one, VCC. This is called the VCC from PIR sensor, and take the other end, and what I'm doing is I'll connect this one with the resistor and the buzzer. That means the positive end of the buzzer and the resistor. So to this place I have to solder this pin also. When you have this sort of a mini PIR sensor, what you have to do is you can use the same thing as I mentioned, and the pins are a little bit different. Actually, the difference between this mini PIR and the normal PIR is the sensitive area or the sensitive distance. It is having a less sensitive distance, but anyhow, as you can see in here, I attached 3 wires, jumper wires with 3 different colors. White color one is a ground pin and that has to be connected with the emitter of the transistor, and the purple color one is from the output and it has to be connected with the base of the transistor, and the blue color one that should be connected to the resistor and buzzer, and accordingly you can continue with the other steps. So that is the end of our circuit. Now let's check whether is it working or not. Now you can see as in front of the sensor, there's a motion in front of the sensor. The lamp continuously working with a small pause. Now there's nothing in front of the sensor, so no any alarm. But let's check whether if I put my hand in front of the sensor, will it give a sound? Yeah, definitely. So you can see until I keep my hand moving in front of the sensor, it will continue to give the alarm sound. Now I take out my hand. Now you can see no any alarm, so the sensor doesn't work. Again, shall we look? Now you can see the sensor is working continuously until I stop moving my hand. Now I take my hand out. no any sound. So your project is successful.